Think Scandinavian design is just white walls and IKEA? Think again. There are quiet rules that make it feel timeless, and most travelers miss them. Hi, I'm Kiana from Destination Bytes. For the next 10 minutes, I'll show you the unspoken rules that separate authentic Scandinavian design from cold copycats. You've probably seen the postcard version, bright, spare rooms and sleek furniture. But that image skips the why, the climate, the social habits, and the tiny everyday choices that actually make these spaces livable. Because when designers or hotels copy only the look, the result can feel sterile, like a staged showroom. And when travelers try to recreate it at home, they often end up with spaces that are flat and joyless instead of warm and practical. So what's missing? It's the invisible logic behind each choice. How textiles, light, and function work together to create comfort in long winters and small apartments. Later in this video, I'll point out the biggest pitfalls to avoid, show how local climate and lifestyle shape these rules, and give 3 quick swaps you can use at home or spot while traveling to instantly make a space feel genuinely Nordic. If you love design meets travel deep dives, tap like now and stay with me. We're starting with how minimalism actually includes warmth. Ready? Let's go. Think Scandinavian design is just about white walls and nothing else? That's the myth. The real secret is intentional restraint. You keep things simple, but you never sacrifice comfort. In the Nordics, they call that mood hygge, a quiet, cozy feeling created by a few thoughtful choices, not a pile of stuff. So what does that actually look like? Picture a living room with clean lines and spare furniture, but then imagine a soft wool rug underfoot, a hand-thrown ceramic mug on a little wooden tray, and a folded linen throw over the armchair. Those small, tactile details are what stop a space from feeling like a sterile showroom and make it feel lived in and human. Locals balance simplicity with layers in 3 predictable ways: textiles, small decor vignettes, and tactile materials. Textiles mean natural fibers, wool, linen, sheepskin, layered in calming tones. Vignettes are tiny, curated scenes. A stack of well-loved books, a lamp, a ceramic vase with a single branch. And tactile materials are warm woods, think oak or birch, matte ceramics, and brushed metals that invite touch. Okay, practical part. Here are 3 easy swaps you can make that instantly add warmth while still keeping that minimalist discipline. Swap X1. Add 1 textured rug. Not huge, not loud, a neutral wool or flat weave with visible texture. It grounds the furniture and creates an instant cozy zone without cluttering the room. Swap X2. Introduce a single warm wood accent. Replace 1 metal or painted side table with a small oak stool or a birch tray. The warmth of the wood reads as intentional and timeless, and it pairs effortlessly with white walls. Swap X3. Layer 2 soft textiles, a linen cushion plus a folded wool throw, in similar tones but different textures. Keep patterns subtle or avoid them entirely. Texture is the main show. After each swap, edit. Remove 1 unnecessary item elsewhere. The rule isn't add more, it's add thoughtfully. That keeps the minimalist silhouette while giving the space soul. Biggest mistake visitors make? They either strip everything away and stop at clean surfaces, or they panic and cram in generic decor from mass market chains that clash in scale and texture. Both miss the point. Authentic Scandinavian rooms feel curated, not staged. Few pieces, carefully chosen, with visible wear or handcrafted details that tell a story. Which of these swaps would you try first in your space? The rug, the wood accent, or the textiles? Tell me in the comments. I read them all. Think Scandinavian design is just pretty pictures? The truth is a lot less romantic and a lot more practical. These interiors were engineered to cope with tiny apartments, long winters, and the need to make every square meter earn its keep. Start with furniture. Multi-use pieces are everywhere because space is scarce. A dining table that extends for guests, benches that hide storage, stools that stack or tuck under a table, nothing is decorative for decoration's sake. You'll notice clean profiles and slim legs not only because they look sleek, but because they let light flow and make a room feel airier. Materials evolved the same way. Locals favor durable, repairable woods like birch, ash, oak, materials that take knocks, can be sanded and refinished, and age with a warm patina. Textiles are heavyweight wool and tightly woven linen that insulate and last. Floors and surfaces use resilient finishes, because when you live through months of mud, boots, kids, and bikes, you want things that stand up to life. That practical origin explains signature elements: pale woods that bounce light into dim rooms, compact seating tuned to conversation, not huge sofas you never use, and modular shelving systems you can rearrange as your needs change. Sustainability and craftsmanship aren't trends here, they're the baseline. A well-made piece that can be repaired or reconfigured is more Scandinavian than a cheaper item that ends up in landfill. So how do you tell real Nordic design from the fast fashion knockoff? I've got 3 quick checks. Weight and joinery. Genuine pieces feel substantial. Look for solid joints, dovetails, exposed dowels, tight miters versus glued veneers and visible staples. Fake is light and noisy. 2. Material and finish. Real wood shows grain, slight variation, and a natural smell. Laminates or perfectly uniform wood grain prints are red flags. For textiles, feel for density. Authentic wool or linen has texture and warmth. 3. Provenance and maker marks. Ask where it was made. Many authentic pieces will have a maker stamp, label, or a designer's name. If the seller can tell the story, who made it, where, when, that's usually a good sign. Travel tip. When you're browsing markets or small shops, do a quick authenticity test. Lift the item, check the underside for stamps or joinery, and ask the seller about the maker. If a beautiful wooden stool weighs next to nothing and the seller can't say who made it, don't be surprised if it's a cheap copy. Small takeaway. Scandinavian design isn't fragile museum art. It's problem-solving furniture and honest materials. If you want the look at home, prioritize pieces that work hard and are built to last. If this is useful, tap the like button. It helps me know you want more practical design tips from the road. Natural light is the silent superstar of Nordic rooms. Everything else gets arranged around it. So first, pale palettes aren't a blankness trick. They're a tool. Off-whites, warm creams, and soft plaster tones bounce daylight deeper into the room and make spaces feel calm, not clinical. But the secret that keeps Scandinavian interiors from looking like hospital wings? Small, thoughtful contrasts, mixed woods, muted accent colors, and layered textiles that read as human, not staged. Let's break this down into the subtle material rules locals swear by. Wood choices are about honesty and texture. Think pale birch and ash for a clean, airy base, mid-tone oak for furniture that warms the eye, and the occasional darker walnut or smoked oak as a deliberate accent. Rule of thumb, stick to 2 wood tones in one room, a base tone and an accent, and let contrasts come from grain and finish, not clashing stains. Textiles are your warmth engine. Linen curtains, chunky wool throws, woven rugs, and a little sheepskin by a chair add depth and tactile comfort. Layering is the point. A linen sofa, a cotton cushion, a wool blanket. Different fibers at different scales. Patterns stay small and simple. Subtle stripes, tiny geometrics, or traditional folk motifs used sparingly. The worn-in look matters. A slightly faded throw or a hand-loomed rug tells a story in a way mass-produced perfection never will. Now about patina and craftsmanship. Scandinavian taste usually shows the maker's hand. Visible joinery, matte glazed ceramics with slight irregularities, and brushed metal hardware are all signals of authenticity. Those imperfections aren't flaws. They're evidence of objects that will age gracefully with you instead of being disposable decor. Okay, practical part. 3 easy, copyable rules you can use while shopping or styling right now. 1. Combine wood tones with purpose. Pick a light wood as your main field, birch ash, and add 1 warmer mid-tone as an accent. Avoid more than 2 distinct tones in one visual plane. If you want drama, change texture, rough sawn versus smooth, rather than adding a third color. 2. Use textiles to build depth. Layer at least 3 different fabrics, for example, linen curtains, a cotton cushion, and a wool throw, and vary scale. Large plain surface plus small patterned cushion. Add 1 natural fur or faux sheepskin for tactile contrast. 3. Choose accent colors that look lived in, not loud. Pick one desaturated color, muted moss green, dusty terracotta, indigo, or mustard, and repeat it in small doses, a vase, a cushion, a lamp, rather than splashing it across the room. Quick swaps to try on your next trip or at home. Swap a bright synthetic throw for a neutral wool one. Replace a single table leg or stool with a different wood tone. Bring home one handcrafted ceramic piece instead of buying a matching set. These tiny changes give an honest, layered feel without overcomplicating the minimalist base. If you're enjoying these practical tips, tap like and tell me in the comments which of the 3 rules you'll try first. Next, we'll wrap up with the top takeaways so you can spot the real thing on your travels. Want a quick cheat sheet to tell real Scandinavian design from a cold copy? Here are the 3 things to remember and 3 tiny swaps you can try this week. First, thoughtful restraint. Scandinavian spaces are minimal, but not empty. The trick is purposeful editing. Declutter, then add a few meaningful pieces. Swap idea? Remove a handful of decorative items and replace them with one tactile object, a wooden bowl, ceramic vase, or a framed photo. It instantly reads intentional, not bare. Second, texture and craftsmanship matter more than trendiness. Wool, linen, and worn wood bring warmth and history. Swap idea? Add a wool throw or a hand-woven cushion and choose one second-hand wooden piece with real patina. That texture makes a room feel lived in and authentic. Third, let natural light lead your palette. Pale walls amplify daylight, while mixed wood tones and small accent colors keep things human. Swap idea? Trade heavy drapes for sheer curtains or move a mirror to bounce light into a dark corner. Then add a single accent color and a small accessory. So, quick recap: minimal but warm, functional by necessity, and guided by subtle choices in light, color, and material. Try one swap this week and notice how much of the look comes from small, deliberate moves rather than big purchases. Which of these rules surprised you most? Tell me in the comments. I read them all. And if you want more design meets travel breakdowns, subscribe to Destination Bytes. See you in the next one.